Hello, welcome to Always Yarn First. I'm Lindsay. I'm a knitter, crocheter, and spinner coming to you from Central Arkansas. I work at Arkansas Yarn Co. and I am also a virtual assistant. So to stay updated on my latest yarny adventures, you can follow me on Instagram and Ravelry as Always Yarn First. Welcome in. Before we get into it, some quick admin. First of all, let me go down here. I am a Knit Picks ambassador. I don't usually say that every episode, but if you're looking for a discount for your Knit Picks purchase, I do have a code below in the notes. We are wrapping up the Love My Stash make-along, which was an all-year make-along, where you had to use at least 50 grams of yarn that you previously had into a project and post it in the FO thread on my Ravelry. And the November winner was Dorothy CR. So Dorothy, get a hold of me. You can either email me at AlwaysYarnFirst@gmail.com, or you can message me right on Ravelry, and we will get a prize for you. And then for the Stripe Along that I co-hosted in November, the winner was Zanobb, and I've already been in touch with her and are working out the details on that. So thank you so much if you participated in these. We just have December left to get to the Love My Stash. And let's see. I think that is it. So welcome. If you're new here, thank you for stopping in and checking me out. I do host a traditional podcast style, and I name every episode after a song title because before my love of yarn was my love of music. So I always find something that's speaking to me, whether it's my making life or my life in general. And this week, for episode 103, by the way, the song is Go Your Own Way, Fleetwood Mac. And if you know, you know. Life has just been messy for me. So it is what it is, but we craft and thrive for a reason. So let's get on to it. I only have 4 things to talk about, so not a lot. But I do have a finished object, some cast-ons, a whip, and a couple of acquisitions. And so I do have timestamps below that you can pick and choose where you want to go. And let's start with my finished object. My finished object is my One Love Mystery Shawl. I think this is the correct way. And I'm sorry about the lighting situation. I'll get into it more in live, but FYI right now, my apartment is an absolute mess. And my desk has moved. So this probably won't always be the situation, and it's rainy and cloudy, so the light right here in my window is not giving much, but we're gonna work with it today, and I don't have the brain space today to figure out something else. So I apologize about the lighting. But here is my One Love Mystery Shawl. I guess I haven't put in my beginning. I did weave in the other one for some reason. Interesting. But this was a one skein mystery shawl from Haute. And I used Haute Boheme Mimi fingering base. The colorway is Neverending Story. That's a pretty accurate color representation. I enjoyed this very, very much. Here is kind of, because of the lace, I mean, it is like a mini shawl, but the lace does give it a little bit more room. So, yeah, super cute. I'm very happy with this. That is the only thing I have finished. But I've cast on a couple things, so let's do my cast-ons. All right, the first thing I have cast on, they're both regarding Advent things. So I believe the last podcast I had showed that I had been gifted the Cozy Knitter sock set, and I cast on and have been keeping up with my socks. So today, as I'm filming this, I didn't say, it is Wednesday, December 17th, and I have worked through the 17th color. So I did toe up. It's so, so pretty. You can see my other sock is right here. So yes, I was going to try to do my heel when I got to it, but then I forgot. So I will have to go back and do an afterthought heel. But what I think I'm going to do, because I'm not really into super tall socks, so I'm at 17. I think it's 24 stripes, not 25. I think that's right. So I have 7 more colors. I believe what I'm going to do is when I get to the last 3 colors, I'm just going to do the ribbing in the colors. So I had a mini just from my stash for this. I believe I will use the mini for my heels, my afterthought heels. And then I will just use the colors when I get to day 22, 23, 24, yeah. Day 22, I will just start the ribbing. So those will be plenty long enough for me. I wear a women's size 5. I am using US 1 9-inch circulars for both of mine. I started with magic loop because of the Turkish cast on. So very much enjoying that rainbow skein of yarn. The other advent I'm doing, and if you'll notice, I should have in the front of this episode, thank you so much for all your comments about feedback for the podcast. I really appreciate it, and I'm taking it all in. But one thing I thought I would do is any pictures I kind of took. I'm not a big scenic video people, like some people put scenic videos. I don't have that, but I thought any pictures I have between the last time I filmed the podcast and when I filmed the new one, I thought, well, I could just put them in kind of like a slideshow just to get a glimpse into my life a little bit as the intro. So you'll see I posted a picture in there of an advent, but it's an old advent. I'm pretty sure it's 5 years old. I've talked about it before on the podcast. It was one of Lori's AYC yarn advents that I had serious FOMO over. I had watched my friend Kristen from the We Share Needles podcast open it on her vlog that year, and I remember I could not stop thinking about it. Lori doesn't do browns usually, but there was a lot of blues, which is my favorite color, and some browns and whites, and I just loved the colors so, so much, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. Well, because I follow Kristen, I had noticed she had never used the advent that I remember seeing. So this has been months ago. I had asked her if she still had it, that I would be willing to buy it from her, because I still was thinking about it 5 years later. And she said, let me look for it. She found the bag with all the minis. She didn't have the extra. She didn't have the main skein. I said, I don't care. I'm happy to buy just the minis. And she ended up gifting it to me. I was so, so grateful to her. But I kind of took them out and decided to do a project for another mystery shawl. And I kind of just put them in an order that made sense to me, that I liked in order. So who knows what the order of the advent really was, but I cast on a shawl. And I think, let's see here. I'm on color 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm not caught up on this. This has kind of been my take to the shop. If I have any knitting time at the shop, this is what I work on. And this pattern is called, and I don't know if I'm getting this right, Intangential Mystery Shawl. I feel like I'm very much butchering that. By Renee Strouts. I think this is her 3rd year doing a mystery shawl, and so I looked at the other 2 and I liked them. And this is really just kind of a formula once you get going. I don't know if it'll eventually change, but so far now we're just in like wedges back and forth. So I'll show you what I got here. So you start with color 1 down here. And then color 2. So you can see that it's short rows. So we have the thinner end, and then it gets wider over here. Now, she has 2 sizes for this shawl, a small and a large. The small is supposed to be for 10-gram mini, for 10-gram minis, and the large is supposed to be for 20-gram minis. I will tell you, and it was supposed to be knit on a US 4 needle. Yeah. Because the first color, I wanted to use the whole thing of yarn because, like I said, I have been wanting this yarn for so long. I wanted to use as much of it as I could. I started on 4s because usually I don't swatch for shawls because it's a shawl. I'm not particular about it. And the style of this shawl, I could tell that I could fudge it. You know, getting done with that Stephen West mystery, I've learned to, you know, you can fudge things, especially with shawls when it doesn't concern a size that you have to fit you exactly. And I was getting toward the end and I'm like, I'm going to run out of yarn. Like, seriously, I'm going to run out of yarn. So, I got nervous and I think about like right here, I ended up switching to US 3. So I'm now using a US 3. I thought it's not going to be able to tell, and I can't tell that the texture is different in gauge. So I switched to that. So I didn't run out of yarn, but I was very, very close. And I thought maybe I had a picture on my phone of what little bit I had left, but I can't find it. So then I started color 2 on US 3s and still almost ran out of yarn. 3, same thing. I'm like, okay, this is getting dangerous. Finally, color 4, which is this blue up here, I ran out of yarn. And I was so this pink marker here is like currently where my short row is. So you go across, you go to the short row, you do another one, you count so many stitches depending on what that section tells you to, then put in that marker again, that's where you'll do it next time, so on, you get closer and closer to the end. And I ran out and I'm like, well, so I just knit to the end and that was it. I started my next color. So like the last section of short rows for this blue, which was color 4, I feel like it's right in here. You can see. It's a long stretch of that last short row because I ran out of yarn. So now I'm just fudging it in general. What that means is basically this pattern, without giving anything away and number-wise, again, when you start a new color, you knit all the way across, all the way back, and then you knit all the way across, count to a certain, each wedge gives you a number. Like wedge 4 is like, let's say 10 stitches. Like I'm going to count 10 stitches away from where this marker is, and that's where I'm going to place my other marker. And then that's where I'm going to short row turn next time. And then I count another 10 stitches, so on, so on, so on, and build backwards. And so I've had to fudge that number because I'm like, otherwise I'm just going to run out of yarn every single time. So I'm making the gap bigger in number than what she calls for. Now, I haven't looked into everyone's projects on Ravelry to see if other people are having this problem. I've seen on her Ravelry where people are just posting their pictures, and I'm like, okay, maybe my gauge has gotten like super loose all of a sudden. I used to be an extremely tight knitter. I used to have to go up needle sizes, but I was really getting nervous, and I'm like, it's short rows, it's fine, it's a shawl, I'm okay with it. I'm totally okay with how I'm doing it. But now I'm basically just doing the generalized pattern, but making up my own numbers as I go across. I'm still going to finish the shawl. I'm still using the Advent. I still love it. I still love all the colors. So that's where we are with this project. But just, an FYI, if you decide to look into this project, you may want to look at that if you are going on it, or if you want to do the short version. I just wanted to use all of the delicious yarn though. So yeah, and this is in the Yummy Sparkle Base from Arkansas Yarn Co. This was the Frosty the Snowman Advent. Obviously, you cannot get this, but I'm so happy to have it. So thank you, Kristen. All right, that is all of my cast-ons. I'm only going to show you one previous whip, and there's not much to it, but enough to where I'm going to show it. So let's get into my whips. All right, my whip I'm going to show you is I've worked a little bit on my half and half triangles wrap. I believe I had just started the second color last time. Yeah, because I have my stitch marker right at the beginning of the color. And one night I wanted to work on something different, so I just decided to grab that out. This thing is pretty big for what it is. If you're new to the podcast, this is the Half and Half Triangles Wrap by Purl Soho. This, I'm using Queensland Cotton, Navy, and Bell's Beach colorway in the light. So this is not the worsted weight, but the lighter weight, fingering weight. And so it has a nice drape. But again, my attention was off on this. My friend Tori has done a ton of these with baby blankets, and she's like, oh, you need 2 skeins of each color. I had to get a third because I didn't finish the short rows. This one, you do short rows again, but it's 1 stitch at a time. So you're going back all the way across, 1 stitch at a time. So it seems like it's slow going, but now that I'm in the color, it's definitely more interesting to look at. And I've put in some progress on it. So I am happy with that. And that is my only whip I've worked on. I did work on some spinning. Again, if you saw the pictures in the beginning of the episode, there was one night I watched the new Knives Out movie, and I decided to spin. So I'm still working on the same spin, although I see that Andrea Maury is doing a jaunty along. That is her current 6-month spin it to knit it. And so I'm thinking I will look through what I've already spun and spin with the idea of to make a jaunty shawl, which I think would be so fun to have that in hand spun. And like I've said before, I haven't really used my hand spun in a knit. So that'd be really fun to do. I think I'm going to do that. I have till June to finish that. So, which is great because as we know, I am a slow maker, especially with spinning. I don't spin all the time. I'm actually missing this year because the last 2 years I bought a spinning advent. And I bought it from Fiber Nymph, and she was not doing them this year. And I know other people have them, but they're not on my regular feed enough to remind me when it's time to purchase them. So I feel like I need to write one down. But I love having a spinning advent. I like minis and the yarn advent, but it makes me spin every day because it's like an ounce of fiber every single day. So it's just enough where I feel like I'm doing really good spinning because I'm doing it every single day. So I really, really miss that. And I might have to write down, if you get a spinning advent, put it down below where you get it from. And if you remember when it usually goes on sale. I know a lot of spinner advent yarn things go on sale like April. So it's really early where you got to jump on it. But I wish I had a spinning advent this year because I have really enjoyed that the last 2 years. All right, so let's get into a few acquisitions that I have. All right, I have a few more things gifted to me, and then one thing I purchased. I feel like there was something missing in here. All right. Oh, yes, I do know what it was. So one thing I bought is I used to, long time ago, regularly get Pineapple Yarn. I don't I guess you can do it as a subscription. If you go onto her website, she has a color of the month and she has a picture of an idea of what it is. And you can buy it one time. Like you can just be like, I'm just going to get this month, see what happens. Or you can subscribe and just automatically get charged for it each month. So for right now, I'm just doing it month by month. So I can look at the colorway and decide. And I decided when I did this one that I was going to do DK. So she has fingering and she has DK. And I've said many times that DK is actually my favorite weight of yarn, which is true. But I have the most fingering because I feel like even especially in the South, that's what you see the most of because people assume like, oh, you don't want to knit higher than a fingering. I love knitting DK. I feel like it doesn't make me any hotter, but it goes so much faster and it's so much enjoyable, so much more enjoyable on my needles. So I decided to get a DK. So I purchased the December colorway and I just got this and look at its blues. Love it, love it, love it. So this is just his December 2025 colorway. It is her Lonnie DK base, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 246 yards DK weight. And then she included a sticker, also in blue, and then she always includes a stash tee. Like she's been doing that for years. So really enjoy that. Don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to go in my stash. And then my lovely friend and boss, Lori, gifted us some other things. So I have 2 other things that she has gifted me, which is just crazy. So this one is a sock set from Yarn Cafe Creations. It is self-striping, which Chrissy doesn't do a lot of. She has done some, but doesn't do a lot of. So this is a very special yarn. The colorway is called Hard Candy Christmas, and the mini is called Cinnamon Candy Apple. This isn't showing up so accurately. It's like a burnt orange colorway, but I love it. And it is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, 437 yards to the regular skein. And then from Tristan, Dragon Horde Yarns, Lori got us each different. Tristan has had a lot of mystery sock sets with a certain theme. And so she got us all different ones. So Lori and I actually got the same one, which is Wicked. So it came with this little bag. Here is the sock set. I love that green so much. My nails are kind of vibing with this purple. The colorway is called For Good. This is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 463 yards. And then in it also was some sticker goodies and a cute little pin. Let me take it out of the plastic, maybe, so you can actually see it. Sorry about the crinkle. There it is. So that's the enamel pin that come with it. So yeah, Lori and I got the same one. Jessa got one called Sardines, which is actually really cute and had some cute extras. And then Anna got the Shire, and that is so her vibe. And the bag is so cute and fits Anna to a T. So super, super cute. So thank you to Lori for all of my yarn goodies. And that is all I got. I haven't got my gritty knits yet, but it's on the way. You know, with Christmas mailing stuff, everything's running late. So that should be coming. And I really, really need to get out my Anna Zadora because I have a lot of minis from Gritty Knits for that project that I need to get going. So just briefly, some life update. Again, not going too personal because if you've been here a while, you know it's been a mess. But the reason for my change of scenery is because my daughter is finally moving in with me. So for the last year when I moved out, she decided to stay with her dad, which was fine. But with circumstances, she has decided to move in with me, which I'm super ecstatic about. But the fact that I was using the extra bedroom for my office, my exercise room, all the things, I had filled the closet up. So I have been working hard the last week to empty out the room, empty out the closets, try to find space squished in my room, which again, all good things. So excited she's going to be here. Totally worth it. It's just, when you've spread your things out, then you have to like recram them back in. And so I've bagged a lot of things up for Goodwill. I need to go do that today, but she should be moving in with me sometime during Christmas week because her dad has time off, so he's going to move her over here. But so that means a change of scenery. My desk isn't in an ideal place to podcast because right behind me is the door to the hallway and my bathroom door. So you can still kind of see some of my mess here. But I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Totally worthwhile to have my daughter here. So I'm super, super excited about that. I can't wait. So that is all that's going on. And, I'm getting ready to have, I think next week, technically, is my 3-year podiversary. So I'll be going into my 4th year, maybe? I think that's right. I'm not sure. But yes, I know it's my anniversary of my podcast because I started like mid-December. I remember I was going to start in January, but I got so overly excited I couldn't wait. So I started in December. And, I definitely want to take into consideration other things about changing up the podcast. And like I said, I appreciate everyone that commented just on what you like and things you don't care about. And I'm like, it was great. It was great. So I just need to take that information, take what I like to podcast about, and figure out what's going to work for me. And, usually I do this podcast every 2 weeks. It has been 3 weeks since my last podcast, but I've been more monogamous on projects. So I feel like I'm not saying I'm going to start for sure doing every 3 weeks, but if it's like last week, I feel like I didn't have anything really to talk about or even to show. I mean, I've only had 4 projects to talk about, but you can tell I've been, knitting. There's actually progress shown. So it may determine 2 to 3 weeks on what my podcast will be, just because I don't want to just show up for like, oh, I've worked on a sock and I got an inch done. So life is just ever changing. And so I'm going to just change with it and figure out what feels good. But if you made it all the way to the end of this podcast, I appreciate you so, so much. I thank you for watching. I hope that you are doing very well, and I hope to see you in the next one.